The great Joe Louis once said, "He can run, but he can't hide." In a boxing ring, space is limited, and sometimes boxing matches become a battle for space. Some fighters look to extend it, and some want to limit it. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to limit that space and the technique behind cutting the ring, so you can trap your opponents. Cutting the ring is the most fundamental technique for putting pressure on your opponent. If you don't know how to cut the ring effectively, slick boxers will impose their game plan and frustrate your attacks. If you want to learn the fundamentals, and more importantly, the overlooked details on how to cut the ring effectively, then this breakdown is for you. But before we start the breakdown, we wanted to share a new 28-day challenge from our sponsor, HBOBoxing, the premier training platform. Version 1.6.8 has added pre-made training templates, power boxing, endurance punching, box and burn, and burpee king. These routines are great for both beginners and experienced fighters. Skillr boxers can save 20% using the link below. Now, let's start with the different scenarios you might find yourself in when it comes to pressuring your opponent. Scenarios. A big shout out to Wilson Caden, who was one of the first to speak on this topic. Many of these scenarios are also reviewed on his channel. First scenario, running straight at the opponent. Against the slick boxer, running in a straight line will usually be ineffective. The opponent can easily escape to either side by pivoting or sidestepping, leaving you off balance and overreaching. You're also wide open to counters, making it a risky and ineffective way to close the gap.
Grips with the movement of Edwards. Look, see, just too far out there.
Second scenario, following the opponent. Again, against an agile opponent with good footwork, simply following won't work. You'll just end up chasing them around the ring without ever planting your feet or cutting off their movement. Third scenario, standing in the center. Sometimes pressure fighters stop following and decide to just plant their feet in the middle. But this is also flawed. A good boxer will circle around you with angles, picking you apart while you keep repositioning.
Lemieux's momentum.
Saunders is that fighter that nobody's ever going to look good against, right?
He's very hard to look good against.
So how do you actually close the gap without overreaching or constantly following? By cutting the ring. In this scenario, you slowly inch forward with lateral side-to-side movement, methodically denying your opponent any exit.
Driving that hand right down the middle, right down the pipe, straight, can't loop it, right in, bam, right on the pipe.
Bubble right now. What a workman is Chavez. Oh,
I'll tell you what, Freddie, I will get under the ring.
I do not think the fans would take that lightly.
Now, let's get into the exact details on how to cut the ring effectively. How to cut off the ring. Boxing stance. When it comes to cutting off the ring effectively, your boxing stance is key. As you will notice, the greatest pressure fighters use a squared stance rather than a bladed one. A bladed stance, feet one behind the other, makes it easier to move back and forth, but harder to move side to side.
Right now he's looking beautifully. He looks like he's...
A squared stance, feet more parallel, allows better lateral movement.
That Canelo's guard is gobbling that.
Which, as we mentioned earlier, is essential when cutting off the ring. It helps you move quickly side to side and react instantly. Footwork and positioning. As a reminder of footwork basics, when moving to either side, step with that side first. If you're moving left, lead with the left foot. If you're moving right, lead with the right. This principle will be repeated constantly when cutting off the ring. Now, when your opponent moves to their left, you move to your right. When they move to their right, you move to your left. However, don't just mirror laterally. You have to inch forward at the same time, closing the distance bit by bit.
Way easier said than done. Came from Triple G, and again, that jab is, as I've said many times.
Not sure there's much Buddy can do from outside the ropes. There we go.
You will have to anticipate where the opponent is going to be while edging forward.
He's giving out something away there, point. But Abel Sanchez said, don't look for it.
Golovkin right in front of that right eye. Now, as you say, he's giving it away.
The idea is to move in a cone-shaped path, not straight forward, as it is easy to escape, and not just side to side, as you won't cut the distance. Instead, combine forward and lateral movement to steadily shrink their space. You should start cutting the ring from the outside. A common mistake is waiting until you're in mid-range to start applying lateral pressure.
Shots in spurts,
but the earlier you deny their exits, the more mentally draining it becomes. Give them less time and space to escape. Another important detail, especially against the opposite stance, will be the lead foot position. In this case, the outside foot position will give you the advantage. With the opponent's lead foot on the inside, they will be left with only one escape to their rear hand side, as their lead side is blocked.
He's in the danger zone when he backs up here into the corner.
If the opponent has an outside foot position, they will be able to pivot and exit more easily on that side. Defensive pressure. To stay defensively responsible while cutting the ring, you'll need to bob and weave as you move forward. Keeping a high guard with smart blocks and parries not only protects you, but demoralizes the opponent who's trying to create space by punching.
First of many. Off at the pass.
Gonzalo's doing a really good job, not
Constant head movement will help you close the distance without taking damage. You can do this in between steps or while stepping, for example rolling as you sidestep. Distance management will also be crucial. If you get too close too soon, you become vulnerable, especially to slick opponents who know how to bait pressure fighters. You will need to be far enough to be able to defend with a pullback,
cut again,
but close enough to keep the pressure on.
and Canelo just got out of the way and
Punching the exit side. Another powerful tactic when cutting off the ring is to punch the opponent on its exit sides. If they're moving to their right, punch from your left.
some scoring shots.
If they're moving left, punch from your right.
Exactly what is happening here.
Yeah, fantastic attitude.
So much movement.
I want to see the head move with the slips. That's the shot.
You can also cut across with your feet first, then punch into the space they're trying to escape to.
Alexander Volstik.
This way, you're not only cutting the ring, but hitting them as they try to exit, which demoralizes them even more.
Macklin trying to obey those instructions, and there's the body shot.
But now, we would love to know your opinion on the comments. Which boxer do you think cuts the ring the best? Let us know. And if the video was interesting, you can find more on our channel. And to your left, we have chosen a video that we thought you may like.